Hi there, welcome to Own Colors. I'm Erica. On today's video, I'm going to be doing my 2025 year in review video. So I'm going to go through a whole list of questions that the wonderful Karen from My Colorful Country Life came up with. I will link her in the description below so you can hop over there and see her video and check out all the questions and everything. She did this last year too, and I used her questions last year as well, but she's just come up with everything that you would think of to try to review for the year. So yeah, wonderful, wonderful list of questions. And so yeah, I'm going to do that today. It's going to be a little bit of a longer video. So if you've got a snack or a drink, settle in and we'll just go ahead and get started. So first question is, what are your top 10 faves of the year? These are not in any specific order. These are just ones that I really liked. So from Magical Earth, which I'm going to zoom out just a little. There we go. From Magical Earth, one of my favorites was this tortoise page. And I don't know, something about the way the colors ended up looking. I think it just turned out so pretty. This is a color along on the channel this year, since I did a year of mythographic color along. Several of those made it onto the list actually. But yeah, just really pleased with the way this one ended up turning out. And this is one of my favorites. So this is from Magical Earth by Joseph Cattenbang. In Botanicum, I had two favorites this year. One of them was completed earlier in the year, and it's this swan page, which I just think turned out really cool. I used markers, water-based markers, to get the water colored in the background, and it turned out really great, way better than I had expected it to work. And yeah, and then different colored pencils on top, and a lot of white Posca added in everywhere. Loved doing the reflections. I kind of sketched those in with pencil ahead of time, so I knew where to stop my markers, so that I didn't go into the reflections too much. But yeah, I think it turned out really cool. Yeah, so there's that one. And the other one that is a fave, I just finished, and it is this cat one back in the back here. And this one was, again, done using some water-based markers, chalk pastel in the background to create that fun bokeh background, Pablo pencils to do the cat and the shading, and then a fun color-shifting watercolor, metallic watercolor for on the ornaments there. But yeah, those two, loved both of those pages from Botanicum this year. Next up, I have a page from Aquatic, and this is a book that I struggled with for a really long time, and if it hadn't been for my mythographic focus year, I don't know that I would have colored it. So I really loved this one, and I had a viewer tell me that this is called a Peryton, P-E-R-Y-T-O-N, I believe. Once they told me that, I went on Pinterest and looked up all kinds of different art and illustrations of that creature. And I found one that had some beautiful colors in it. And I thought that that would be perfect for not only the creature, but also for the mermaid. So yeah, so that one was done in May of this year. Love that one. So fun. And that is from, again, Joseph Cattenbang. I did one of the pages in A Million Magical Creatures. This is one of my favorite books. And I did this page this year. This was a buddy color as well. And both of us kind of did a real similar color palette. But yeah, I loved this, the way this one turned out. I don't do yellow backgrounds very often. So the fact that there's yellow on this page at all is surprising. I liked doing the little bit of, it's not exactly blue and it's not exactly green. It's kind of a good mix of the two on the water and then on the coats and stuff as well. And the frogs themselves, they're kind of blue-green, these two at least. But yeah, I just thought that turned out really well. And I enjoyed every second of it. So yeah, that is another favorite in A Million Magical Creatures by Lulu Mayo. Then I had another one in a mythographic. So this is Fantasy Forest by Fabiana Attanasio. This is one of the new books this year that I just loved. And this is the page that I did. And I love it. I was so pleased with this one. Now, unfortunately, this one does not have a color along. There's a whole story where technology was out to get me this month, or the month that I did this, because I had recorded the whole thing and then it just files got corrupted. It was crazy. I was so angry, but I still got a pretty page out of it in the end. So I really wanted to have a fall unicorn. And so, yeah, I went online and, you know, searched fall unicorn and found some really cute illustrations that had like this beautiful orange color for the mane. I was like, yep, that's what I'm going to use. And then I found some beautiful images of these flowers in like this color palette. And then I had a rainbow back here, so I wanted to get something that was a rainbow feel, but not quite the rainbow colors. But so I just ended up using a couple of different colors for that, different than what you would expect, I guess. And yeah, this was another one of my favorites from this year. In Lulu's House of Wonder, I've done 3 pages in this book, and I love all of them. But I think if I have to pick my favorite, I'm going to go with the squirrels, which are here. And I think I like this one so much. I mean, the color palette is really warm and cozy for sure, but I really just had so much fun in the background, just splattering the heck out of it with all kinds of different colors. And I love this little dragon. But yeah, it's really cute. This book is so adorable. Definitely one of my favorites from 2025. And I'm looking forward to coloring more in it. I'll show you the other one that I did too. So I've only done 3, but I love all 3 of them. But yeah, I think out of the 3, this squirrel one is my favorite. So cute. So yeah, so that's by Lulu Mail. Then I had a page in Magical Worlds. This is the newer one from Johanna Basser. I think this came out last year, I want to say. Yeah, 2024. But my favorite in this book this year is this one. I've colored several in this because this has kind of become a little bit of a project book with a group of lovely colorists. But yeah, this one was, I really wanted to use some distress ink in the background. So I had used, what's that called? Masking fluid to cover the image, and then I used my distress ink, and then came back in with pencils and filled everything in. You can see little bits and pieces like where the masking fluid went over the lines or something here and there, but I think, you know, if you just look at it, it's really pretty. I used some silver metallic watercolor in the background. I used some white gouache to cover the lines of the moth before I colored it, so that's kind of what gives it that glowy look. Yeah, really, really love this one too. Very pleased with that one. So that is Magical Worlds by Johanna Basford. Then this one is a personal favorite just because I love this story. This is one of my favorite stories. And they had a new series start this year, and it's just so cool. Anyway, this is the page that I did. And so thankful to my fellow critter out there in the world and of coloring, Amy Ward Art, for coloring this with me, being my buddy. Yeah, it's a lot of alcohol marker, ton of alcohol marker, but I really loved it. I just had so much fun. This is one of the best scenes in the whole campaign. And yeah, I'm so glad that I was able to color it. I think it's so cute. So yeah, so there's that one. And this, I don't know who drew that one. I don't think, yeah, it doesn't specify which artist drew that. I think it was Kate May, but I'm not positive. Yeah, it doesn't specify who did which page. But there's 3 different artists, but I think it's Kate May. Yeah, just love this. Love this book, love this show. So happy to have a page colored in that. All right, and then last but not least, I have a page from Mythographic Wild Winter, and this one was done early in the year, and it's this snake page here. The color palette was absolutely inspired by the wonderful colorist on Instagram, Phaedra, who's I'll put it on screen, it's PNMP, and then something else. But she had done a beautiful like red and blue page, and I was like, I really want to do that. So I decided to try it out on this snake page, used alcohol marker as a base, and then went over top with my colored pencils to create like that mottled look in the background. Lots of white Posca, some iridescent metallic watercolor on some of the snowflakes, some stickles here. Yeah, just really love the way this one turned out. Again, just super, super happy that I did that whole mythographic series, and I got some really great pages out of that. So I think No, this one is not a color along either, I don't think. Shoot. So, but yeah, it's another one of my favorites. So yeah, there is that one. That is from Mythographic Wild Winter by Joseph Catenday. Okay, what were your most popular pages on IG? And the most popular one I had was from Good Yule, and it is the bird one up front here. It was this one. And I did this early in the year, and yeah, it just went over really well. I do like this page. I like the way that the background turned out. I like the color palette. Yeah, but this one was the most liked. And yeah, there is that one. Okay, so next is goals set and goals met. Did you set any goals and did you meet them? And I absolutely did. So I have set several goals this year. First was to color a Kirby page, one Kirby page per quarter. So I did do a few Kirby pages. I did not get, my original goal I think was to do one double page spread per quarter. Did not get that done, but I did get a double page spread done in here. So I finished off the wolves this year. Ooh, I'm going to zoom out so you can see. Yeah, I finished this page. Did a fun new technique in the background for that too. I feel like it turned out really cool. This is a big one to try to kind of show you guys up close. But yeah, I really do like the way that that turned out. I'd had a large portion of this done previously, so the wolves were all done, and then I just had to come in and do the background and the clouds and all the little character thingies. But yeah, I do like the way that turned out. So there is that one from Kirby. And then I also did a page in Alien World. So this has been an untouched book for a really long time. I actually did 2 pages in here. So I did the cover page. Yep, did that one. And then I also did this one here. Really love the way this one turned out too. Lots of bright, vibrant colors. I love the eye on the alien. Yeah, and then I do have other ideas now for this book as well, because I kind of went through and pinned several ideas for things. Was it that one? And then there was this one. Yeah, I thought that would be cool there. Oh, and this one. So yeah, so I have some ideas for future work in here, and I did really enjoy coloring on this paper. That was lovely. So yeah, so there's that. And then I also finally colored in Phantomorphia. I had not colored in this either. This was another untouched book. And I got this like right when it came out. So I've had this since, what'd we say, 2018, and I never colored in it. So I finally have one done in here, and I did the bat page here. Again, another really fun one to color in. I used my Albrecht Dürer pencils and like a gel pen and a marker and all kinds of stuff. And it's, you know, it's not the most intricate page on the planet, but I still had fun doing it. Yeah, it was really fun to build up that background. So yeah, so got some pages done in Kirby. Not as many as I would have liked, but some, and that's good. Okay, so the next one, the next goal I had was make 3 to 5 color alongs per quarter. And I did pretty well. I think I ended up pretty close to that goal, because I was doing mythographic color alongs each month. I missed a couple of months with that, but then I threw in a couple of Lulu's House of Wonder color alongs, and it kind of evened itself out. So every page in this book will be is a color along on the channel. So the ones that I've done so far, I've done this one, which you've just seen these, so I won't go through them a lot, but this one and the cute little skunks. So I've got those 3 out there on the channel, and then of course I've got several from Mythographic. Both of those are going to be listed in the Mythographic color along playlist, but again, this is one of them. So if you're interested in those, you can check those out. So yes, did get that goal done. Another goal I had was to color in Flowerscape at least one page from one of these in each book. So I did a couple of pages in these. I only made it through June before I stopped coloring in these. They're lovely to color in. They just weren't appealing to me for some reason. But the pages I did get done, I do really like. Let's see if we can find them. I should have had these marked. I apologize. So I had this one here from the original Flowerscape. Beautiful. And these were very simply done with water-based marker, a little bit of Prismacolor on top, and usually chalk pastel in the background. So I did those ones. I started these and didn't finish this, but this is what it looks like before I get any colored pencil on there. That's just a water-based marker base layer. I also did this one. Really, really enjoyed this one. I do like the way that that looks. Yeah, that's it in those ones, just because I think I was switching back and forth between the books. I wasn't doing one in each of them each month. So that was all I did in regular Flowerscape. And then in Flowerscape in Paradise, I did a couple as well. So I did this one, which I really like the way that one turned out too. Again, water-based markers, chalk pastel in the background, and Prismacolor on top. And this one. And then this one. I think this one's probably my favorite out of this book. And this is, again, those things, but then I've used some paint marker to add in some of the dots and stuff on the leaves. I think that was it in this one. I think this one might have been this year too. I can't remember if this one was this year or last year, but this is another one I've done, at least in this book. But yeah. Okay, so yeah, that is what I was able to get done. Again, not the whole month or the whole year, but half the year. So more pages done in there than I did have. Okay, another goal that I set was to work on my books to finish list. So I was keeping track of my pages here. So these are all the books that I worked on this year, and I will show you some of the pages that I did this year. So in Botanicum, I do have these ones marked. The other ones aren't. I don't have marked, unfortunately. Kind of ran out of time today, but so I did this one this year. I started this one, but I finished this one. Again, really like the way that that one turned out. It was very inspired by, oh shoot, I will put her name on screen. I think it's Miss Pollute or something like that. She uses a lot of purple color palettes, and it's just beautiful what she does with it. I finished this cute little squirrel here, using this fun new chalk pastel kind of background thing that I've done in this book a couple of times now. I did both of these, and these were both buddy colors as well. So I did several buddy colors in this book this year, and this helped a lot. And actually, while I'm showing you this, I might as well tell you, there's another question coming up that said, which book did you reach for the most? And it was Botanicum. I did 16 pages in this book, which is definitely more than any other book that I have. So, yeah. So yeah, there's that one. I did this rabbit one on this side here, drew in the eggs in the background too. Wanted to make sure that I used the same colors so the pages would match. I don't do that on every double page, but in here, but I like to sometimes. So I did that there. I did both of these. Again, this one is another one where I used that fun technique in the background with the chalk pastels. It kind of looks like a watercolor or like a marble kind of look. This is the first time I've done it with like red because I don't use red very often on backgrounds. And then this one I wanted to do a fun, funky background. So I did like this very abstract shape around the outside edge and yeah, all the shading and stuff. This book I don't typically use water mediums. I usually use chalk pastels, water-based markers, and then pencils on top. I tried to use like, you'll see a page here in a little bit, but I tried to use like watercolor, like Inktense or Albrecht Dürer or something like that. And they don't always work right for me, so I stopped using those. But then I also did this one, this cute little fox one. Yeah, really like that one. And then I also did this frog, which is another one that I just love. And that was the first time that I did the chalk pastel kind of background like that. And I think it turned out cool. And that just started a whole wave of testing things out with chalk pastel. I did this mermaid during Mermaid this year. Love that one. Mostly water-based markers and then pencil on top. A little bit of metallic in the corners there. Let's see what else. I did both of these. These were both with a buddy color as well. So yeah, I love this one. I think this one turned out really, really pretty. The fall colors in this just, I don't know, they just speak to me in this one. And then I did this one. This is where I used water mediums because I had used water medium on this side and it was already wrinkly and stuff at the top. So I was just like, well, might as well use more. So I did this side. This was all Albrecht Dürer pencils. And then I've got some stickles on the snowflakes and something on the snow to make it sparkly, but I don't remember what. But yeah, like that one. And then last but not least, which you've already seen, is this cat. Again, some markers, some chalk pastel, Pablo pencils. Yeah. There we go. Oh, and then that's a whip. But yeah, so that is the work that I did in Botanicum. So this is a book to finish, and it's going to stay on my books to finish list. So you will be seeing more of this book in the future. In A Million Magical Creatures, I did 4 pages in this one. So I think if I remember correctly, I think this is right. So I think this one was my Easter Griffin is what I called it. Yeah, love that one. A lot of this is Albrecht Dürer's and then sometimes Prismacolor on top as well. I believe I did this one this year. I'm not sure, but I think so. And I think I just used the same color palette from over here. Like the same thing on the mountains and everything. And then I've got some stickles and some folk art, extreme glitter and some metallic watercolor. Just made it super shiny page. This is my whip. So I'm working on this one currently. We'll see if it gets done. It might not get done. You've already seen this one of my faves. And then this one too. Again, just a really fun, bright, super interesting looking page. So many colors, all the colors. This whole rainbow is all sparkle gel pen. It's I think it's the Jelly Roll gel pens. And then I did Albrecht Dürer in the background and then Prismacolor on top to really intensify the color. And yeah, so those were my pages from A Million Magical Creatures. Again, this one is sticking around because it's one of my faves and I want to finish this book. So there we go. In Boule de Pois, this was the second most reached for, and I did, let's see, I did 11 pages in this one. I don't remember which ones, so we're just going to kind of flip through and see what we see. I think this was this year. Yes, this was this year. This one was this year. Those ones are old. I think I did the donkey one this year. Those ones are older. Cute. I know for sure the unicorn was this year. This is another one I really liked. But yeah, I just had fun doing the little rainbow fun thing in the background. Those ones are older. I did these 2 this year. Like both of those a lot. Again, using the same colors on each page, it just makes it look cute. I did these 2 this year, early in the year. Really like the way those turned out. Again, really fun in the background, just splattering and dots and all kinds of stuff. I did this one this year, cute little mice. And then I also did these 2. So, are these cute little foxes? I think that's it. Yeah, so I've got quite a bit in this. Again, I think this is another one that's going to stick around because it's easy to work in and it's fun. And I always like the way the pages turn out. So yeah, going to definitely keep working on that one. In Daydreams, I think I only finished 1 page. I'm pretty sure. Oh no, I finished 2. So we'll see if we can figure out which ones they are. So the front half of this book is all done. So I started that one and never got to finish it. I started that one and didn't finish it. I don't think this was this year. I think this was last year. Pretty sure that was last year. So I did finish this one this year. Love the way that one turned out. That was really fun to do. So I get that one. I think the other one I finished is this one. Because I had somewhat of a background on there, and then I just kind of went through and added some more dots and fun stuff. And then colored the bug itself too. I think that was the other one I finished. But yeah, I just have the last half of this book to go. So I just really need to buckle down and color it. I don't know why I'm not reaching for this one as often. But yeah, I would like to finish this someday. So yeah, there's Daydreams. I have 50 Farmers Miniatures, and unfortunately, I think I only colored like 3 or 4 in this one this year. Yeah, 4 in this one this year. So I think, if I remember correctly, I think that one was January, which I do like the way that one turned out. And then I did this one back here in February. Turned it into like a little chalkboard sign. Really cute. Did that one. I finished this one, which I do like the way that one turned out as well. Super cute. I finished this one. Again, just a stencil in the background with some chalk pastel. And yeah, just super cute. And then I did do one more. So I did 5 in this one this year because I've just finished this one recently. So I did this one too. I do like the way this turned out. This is a little sneak peek for this month's coloring, but I think it turned out cute. So yeah, so there we go. So 5 and 50 Farmers Miniatures. I just have like a handful left. Let me see. I have 16 left in here to finish. So, or 15 now, because I just did another one. So yeah, so I will keep this one in here too, finish this guy up, and then I'll be able to move on to a different Camellia book. And then the other 2 that I had on my list were these 2, and I will talk to you about these guys again here in a second. But I only did 4 in each of these this year, but there's a very specific reason. So we'll talk about that here in a minute. Another goal I had was to color in some of my untouched books. So I had made a list here of 50 books, and 25 of them had little stars by them. They were kind of ones that I wanted to focus on more. I was only able to get 15 of the 25 that I wanted to pay attention to. I did 15 of those and only 17 out of all of the 50. So not real great, but some done. So yeah, so some of the books actually on this list have already been destashed, which I'm being very cutthroat about basically, is I am really just trying to get my collection whittled down to things that I know that I'm going to pick up and color in, because otherwise, or things that I really, really, truly love, because otherwise it's just taking up too much space. I have too much and it's got to go. So I say that every year, but I really mean it this year. But I feel like that I've heard that from several other colorists out there, that they just have so many books and too many options at this point. So yeah, so that is what I did for that. And then the last goal that I had, okay, so in my mythographic books, I did have a focus book each month that I tried to color several pages in. And then I also wanted to work on all of my other mythographic books as well. So I do have a few that were outside of those monthly assignments, I guess. So you already saw the one in Wild Winter. So that was the snake page, wherever that went, that one there. Really love the way that turned out. I do have one tagged here for December. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to it. Unfortunately, my time is not on my side right now, but that is the idea that I had for that page. So we'll see how that goes. But that was my page in Wild Winter. Did I finish a page in here? I think I finished a whip that I had in here for a while. No, I'm sorry. I started another whip. So I started this page here. And I'm hoping to get back to that at some point, but I really liked the inspiration image I have here. So I'm going to try to do something similar to that. And we'll see how that goes. In Dream Garden, this is the one I finished. I also had, I think, a couple of other ones that I wanted to color really badly, but I didn't get back to this book. But this is the one I finished, and it had been a whip for a while. And yeah, just finished that up. Really like the way that one ended up looking. Let's see what else I have. I have a couple of whips in here, and then a couple finished pages too. So yeah, so that's Dream Garden. In Voyage, this is one of my favorite books. I have a couple pages done in here. So I didn't make it a focus book, but I wanted to color in it, and this was the page that I started, and I never got back to it. But I feel like that's going to be really beautiful once I get back to it. I do love the colors that I've chosen. Yeah. So far it's just got a base of chalk pastel, and then I've done a little bit of shading on the clouds, the purple clouds. And that's it. But yeah. And this one, I love this book. I don't have any fear of not reaching for this one when I want to color something, just because I think this book is so awesome. So yeah, I have no worries about that. So there's Voyage. In Fairy Wonderland, I have a whip. And then I had this one marked for October as well, and I didn't end up doing a mythographic page in October, but that was the one that I had thought about doing. And then earlier in the year, I had started on this one, and this one's almost done. There's not that much left to do. I just have to finish the metal of this thing in the background, figure out what I want to do on these panels, and then color the flowers, and then I'm done, and finish off her dress. But I love the way the background turned out in this. I just have to sit down and do it. Thankfully, I do have colors written down over here, so I should be able to do it. And this is my color palette inspiration for everyone. But yeah, love that one. That's Fairy Wonderland. Okay, and then now starts my monthly focus book. So this was the one in January, and I did 3 pages in this one, I think. So I have this jellyfish one, which turned out really fun. So much glitter on this one. Glitter and sparkle. So there's that one. I started that one. That's an older one. I did this one, which again, love the way that this one turned out. Super pretty. And then the other one I did was up front here, and that's the dragon. And this is the color along for January. So if you like this page and want to see how I did it, you can check out the color along on the channel. Lots of stickles, alcohol marker in the background. Yeah, really love that one. So yeah, those are my pages from Frozen Fantasy. In February, I worked in Aviary. So I got 1 page finished, but I have 2 other whips in there as well. So let's see, the finished page. Nope, that's an old one. Oh, there's an idea that I wanted to do for the fall too. So that's the other thing is because I was focused on these books, I was able to go through and get ideas and color palettes for things that I might do in the future. And yeah, I just had a lot of fun. So this was my finished page. And again, this is a color along on the channel. If you are interested, you can just find the playlist. That is the Mythographic Color Alongs playlist. And yeah, love the way that one turned out. And then the whips that I have are this one here. Yep. And then this one. So, this is another one where I have no, worries about finishing those pages at some point, because I love this book. It's one of my favorites that he's ever done. And yeah, so that was from Aviary. Next, I chose Mythographic Imagine for March. And I did a couple of pages in this one. I think I have 3 finished and 1 whip. So this is the whip. And I had started this side to show kind of how I do that kind of streaky background. And I don't know why I didn't finish it on the other side. That makes no sense. Yeah, so I just did the background on that side and started working with some alcohol markers on the little elements and stuff. So I need to get back in here and do some more work. But yeah, there's that one. And again, I've got ideas all over the place tucked into these books. This one I finished. Really do like that one too. I wanted to stick to a brown and purple color palette. This was a color challenge, I think, from Beth Ann. I will put her Instagram on screen here, because her color choices are so interesting and so cool, and I love the way she uses color. So yeah, check her out. Then that's the old one. There was another idea This was one I really wanted to do. I might get back and do that one too, because that one's gorgeous. Where's the other ones? Oh, here we go. I did this one. Loved this robot. Ever since I opened this book, this is one of the ones I wanted to color. And then when I started coloring, I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many chords. So many chords. And it's kind of hard sometimes in his older books to figure out what's what, but once you get it colored, I think it turns out really cool. So yeah, so there's that one. And then the color along for the month was this one, this beautiful sky whale. And I just had a lot of fun with this one too. The background over here on the side is all alcohol marker. And then I've done pencil stuff on top of that. There's some stickles around, sprinkled around on things. Yeah, love that one. And that is all from Imagine. In April, I did Labyrinth, and I have, again, 3 pages finished in one whip. The whip is back at the back here. I know that. I did start this one, and then I was like, what am I doing? I wasn't quite sure where I was going to go from there. This one might be kind of fun to try to do this winter. Maybe I could turn it into like snow and ice. We'll see. That's maybe an idea that I can kind of keep in the back of my brain. This book is another one that's just gorgeous. It's so cool. But I finished this one. Yeah, I really like that one. I think this is the color along for the month. Lots of sparkle there, cute little space rabbits. Yeah, so this one, I think that one is the color along. And then I also did this one because I was testing out water mediums, and then I was like, well, I just need to finish the page. So I don't love this one, but it's fine. It's a finished page and it's whatever. It's just kind of creepy to me, which is why I picked it to test my supplies on. But then I was like, well, now I have to finish it, which I don't always do. And then I did this one. This one is my favorite out of the book, out of the pages that I colored. I think this just turned out so soft and pretty. It was a lot of green. Like, I don't want to color that much green again for a while, I don't think. But it was a lot. But it turned out really good. I love it. And then I did start one more, too, up at the front here. This one. So I think that'll be nice when I get back to that one, too. So, yeah. So there are the pages I did in Labyrinth. In May, I picked Aquatic, and I got 2 done. And you've already seen the one, the Periton, back here. Where did it go? Oh, I also have lots of fun ideas for all of these. Lots of ones in this one, I think. Yeah, so I did that one. Let's see what else. There's another idea for that page there. And I did this one, which is another one that I just love. I think I have a fascination with whales in the sky. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I like it. So there's that. So I got a couple more done in this book, which I didn't really touch. Oh, I did start this one too. I forgot about that. Started that one as well. That's an old whip. And then I have one other done, I think. Yeah, this one done. So yeah, that is Mythographic Aquatic. In Magical Earth, I have 3 pages done and 1 whip, 2 whips. 2 whips? And then I had, this was the month also, so in June I did start the pages in Voyage and Paradise, and then finish that one from Dream Garden. So it was definitely a heavy mythographic month. So I've started quite a few in this. So I have this one as a whip. It's just the markers right now. There's nothing else on that. Again, this one, just markers. I've started this one. And yeah, that's again a lot of green, but I got to finish, like once I get over this area, it won't be so hard on my hand because I really had to make it dark on that side. But yeah, so the light is here. So everything, is lit up right around here, and then it gets darker over that way. So that was my initial thought process, but I do think that's going to look cool. And this was definitely the illustration that it was based off of. But yeah, love that one. I started this one to test my Inktense. I finished this one. Again, I did like a streaky kind of watery sky in the background. Lots of stickles on this one. Yeah. And then what else? Oh, I did this one. And I used some paint markers to do the background. So all the sand in the sky is all paint markers in the water. And then some alcohol markers and pencils to do the rest. Like the way that turned out. And then, yeah, and then I think you saw the color along. Yeah, so then this was the color along, which again, just one of my favorite pages. I don't know what it is about this page. I just love it. Yeah. There we go. So that's Magical Earth from June. In July, I colored in Dragon Spell, and I only finished one page, which is crazy. I started 3 different pages, but I only finished one page. So I started that one. Again, I was testing out materials, trying to figure out what worked in the book, and so far everything has worked. Like there's been no issue. But yeah, there's that one. Again, lots of ideas and stuff out of this book. I've started this one. I really do love this page. I don't know why I can't finish it. I think it's going to look so neat when it's all finished, and there's just a few things left. But yeah, so there's that one. And then I've got more ideas. Goodness. More ideas. And then this is the one that I finished. So yeah, you can check that out on the channel. I don't remember if this is a color along though. It might be. But the only cool thing that I did on this is I extended the wings past the border, because normally it would stop, you know, right there. But I just extended the wings out, and yeah, I thought that looked kind of cool. So yeah, there's that one. And then I did start this one as well, but I have yet to get back to that. So yeah, there is my work in Dragon Spell this year. In Wild Summer, I only have one whip and one completed page. So I'll just show you the whip. Did I do anything else? I did a little bit of work on this one too, just to test water mediums to see how they did, and different pencils, and they did well. I liked that. Once you hit a certain point with these books, you can start using anything on them. But sometimes the water doesn't always work super well. So, okay, yeah, the whip that I have, again, which is almost done, is this one. I have to color these hippos, and I think that's it. I think that I'm done. I just have to shade these 2 hippos. So, it's so close, but I love the way that this page ended up turning out. Definitely inspired by Hungry Hungry Hippos. Yeah. Oh, and all the little floaty light ball things in the sky. I got to color those too. But yeah, so there's that. And then the finished page is this one. Again, I think this is another one of my favorites. I didn't want to include this one in there though, since I already had another turtle. But I don't know what it is about the turtles this year. I was really drawn to turtles or tortoises. I just like their little faces. So yeah, there's that one too. And this one is a color along on the channel as well. So that's the work I did in Wild Summer. In Cosmic Spirit, I did finish one page, and I also have a whip on another page. Let's see if we can find those. Oh, I also have some ideas stuck in here too. I forgot about those. This is the one that is the whip. Unfortunately, I did not finish that, but I do really like the way that that's looking. That's really going to be a really pretty page. And then that's the old one. This is the page that I finished. This is the color along. And this doesn't photograph well, and I don't know how it looks on camera right now either, but in person, it looks really cool. I like it a lot. The metallic, it's like a iridescent, so it's like white and then it goes to gold. And I just think it looks really cool. And then of course the gold on the constellation itself. Yeah, it just turned out neat. I like this one a lot. So yeah, so there's that one. And that's all I did in this book. Again, another beautiful book that I just haven't worked in very much. So thankful that I was able to do some this year. And then last but not least, like I said, I didn't have one for October. This one was for November. And I did do 2 in this one. This beautiful fall one that I've already shown you. Just stunning. I love it so much. There's that one. And then I've got some ideas tucked in here for things too. This was one that I was going to do, which I just thought that was really cute. And then the other one I did was up front here, this one. Yeah, and I think that turned out really cool too. So overall, I did get 22 new mythographic pages done, and I think that that's a pretty big deal. Did 22 new pages, started 12 whips, which, are easy for me to get back in there and finish for most of them. Most of them I have my colors written down. But yeah, I had a lot of goals this year, and I'm very pleased with what I did. So hopefully next year will kind of be more of the same. So yeah, that is question number 3. Holy cow, I'm so sorry. Let's keep moving. So I'm going to have this open to this gorgeous page so you guys can look at this a little bit, and we'll talk about some of these other questions. Question 4, how many different books did you work in this year? So unfortunately, that is unclear for me because I did keep track of my books in the front of my planner each month. So there is a section here in the front. So this is the coloring planner from Amanda Colors. And there is a place to keep track of your books. However, each month, I probably did have duplicates because I have all of those books that I wanted to finish. So I would work on those each month. And so I don't know exactly how many books, but a lot. I did a lot of pages, which is the next question. How many pages did you color in 2025? And I did 206 pages, which works out to be close to 17 pages each month on average. So yeah, pretty proud of that. How many buddy colors did you have? So I had 45 buddy colors this year. Several of those were repeat buddy colors, but yeah, really very happy with that. Super happy. Number 7, how many whips did you end up with the end of this year? I do not keep track of my whips. You guys know that I have whips all over the place. I mean, you just saw in all those mythographic books, I left several pages uncolored. My Daydreams book from Hannah Carlzon is full of unfinished pages. I don't stress about that, so it's not a big deal to me because I just color when I feel like coloring. I color what makes me happy and what I'm interested in, and if I'm not feeling a page, I stop. I don't force it because it doesn't make it fun anymore. So, and that's why I'm coloring is for the fun. So yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. On my little form over here, I wrote IDK, but it looks like 10K, and that could be. It could be 10,000 whips. I don't know. Number 8, how many books are still untouched? So again, I have not counted that yet, but that is a goal for next year. At the end of last year, I had 162 that were uncolored in. So I'm going to film a video about that at the beginning of next year and get on top of that and figure out, what I need to do, try to set a plan to try to color in as many books as I can. So we'll see how that goes. That's one of my new goals for 2026. Okay. The next question is, did you finish any books this year? And yes, I did. So you saw these guys earlier. These are the 2 books I finished this year. I finished this one in February and this one in May. And yeah, I've been working on these for a couple of years. And happy to say they're all done. So this is Portrait of the Mermaid by Sarah Burrier. All of these were done with alcohol marker, Prismacolor, and then either some stickles or gold sparkle pen, some kind of glitter pen. Some kinds of Posca thrown in there too. And the same thing for this. These are both on Amazon paper. So, not the best paper, but still, you can still make cute stuff. So yeah, all of these, and these ones are dated. I don't usually date my pages, but in this book I did for some reason, but I started in 2022 on this book and then just finished, in February this year. So yeah, I had so much fun coloring this. And this was another one where I was with a group of people. So they really helped me finish all of the pages in here. And yeah, so those are my finished books. I've never finished books before. And this year I finished 2. So that was really awesome. So yeah, so those are my finished books. Okay, so next question is, let me give you something to look at again. Okay, here, we'll just leave it open to this. So how many new books have you added this year? So I stopped keeping track for some reason in June, but up to that point, I had gotten 48 new books. So I'm really hoping that I slowed down for the remainder of the year. I feel like I did. I feel like I don't have quite that many. So yeah, I don't know exactly. But again, I will be keeping meticulous track of that next year. I'm very concerned about my purchases over this last year. I kind of just, I didn't do what I had said I was going to do and really limit and pay attention to what I was buying. I was just like, oh, that feels good, I'm going to buy it. So yeah, I'm trying to be more conscious of that this year. And yeah, so unfortunately, I only know up to June, and it was 48. So who knows where I ended up. Next question is, what was your favorite new release this year? So favorite new releases. Let me grab some of those. Okay, I only have a couple of them handy, but some of the ones that I really loved this year, Manga Mania, which is just a fantastic book. It's so cool, especially if you like manga drawings. It's, yeah, wonderful. A Million Kittens by Lulu Mayo is another one of my favorites. Spooky Coloring 2, or Spooky Witch Coloring. It's the second of Sarah Shevchik's books, and it's just a fantastic book. Another one, 2 others are the Maria Trolley books, the new Maria Trolley books that came out. I just recently got those, so they have not been colored in yet, but they're both adorable, despite the more simpler style that she's going with, but still really cute books. And then, of course, these 2. So Lulu's House of Wonder, just fantastic. I heard somebody else say that this is one of her best, and I agree. It's so good. There is not a page in this book that I do not want to color, and I'm excited to work on it. That's why I said I was going to color all of these on screen with you guys, because I just love them so much, and I feel like it's going to translate well, you know, as I'm coloring them. So this month was supposed to be this one. So if I don't get it done before the end of the month, I will move on from that, and we'll go with a new page. But we'll see. I will not be coloring in this without it being on camera, so you guys don't have to worry about missing anything that I do in this. But yeah, so there's that one. And then Funky Florals is the other one that I just love that I got this year. And I think it was released this year too, I believe. Yeah, 2025. This is by Megan Wells, and it's a great... She's a mixed media artist, so you can kind of see, this is some of her artwork here. And then she also has a book called, where'd it go? Funky Florals? Yeah, Funky Florals. And I got this book as well. I'll show you that too. It's this here, and it's just chock full of ideas and tips on how to create these fun mixed media pieces. So I took some of the advice or tips from this book and applied it to some pages in here. So I've got a couple that are just straight coloring. So like this one here, I finished last month, and this one was just markers with, I colored on the page with the markers, and then used a water pen to spread out the color, and it worked great on this paper. That doesn't always work with water-based markers, but this one did. For this one, I used super cheap watercolor, like the little pans, the little round pans that you get at for like $1 or something. I used that and just did a bunch of messy coloring, and then added some color pencil on top and some markers. I think I used Crayola color pencils on top too, to just try to keep it as cheap as possible, but still show that you can get some fun results. And then I also did this page. So this one is a mixed media page with acrylic paint, markers, paint markers, paper. I've got some paper pieces on here. Yeah, just so much different stuff. And I just had a blast. Just so much fun doing all kinds of stuff on this. And yeah, this book just brings out my creative side in a different way, and I really love it. And this is the other one I did. So I used water mediums, and then blacked out a couple of areas with black paint, and used a white Posca on top of that to draw in some patterns. And then tried to highlight the butterflies around the page so they kind of pop off the page a little bit. I have some stickers here. Yeah, this is just so much fun. And the nice thing about this is if I completely screw this side up, as long as it doesn't bleed through, I can come in, and this is what that page looked like before. Because on the back side of each of these is a grayscale side. But yeah, you can use alcohol markers and, water-based everything. But sometimes it's going to bleed through. I used a lot of water on this though, and it didn't bleed through until I started doing the thick, heavy bits. So you can see like here where I added a ton of water. That's the only place it really bled through. But overall, it's good. But yeah, loved this book. So yeah, those were my top favorites this year. Okay, so what supplies did I reach for the most this year? And I think my top supplies, I would say my Albrecht Dürer pencils, my Prismacolor pencils, my chalk pastels, especially in this book, my alcohol markers in anything that's not double-sided, and yeah, did I say my Prismacolors? I think those probably 4 things are probably the most that I reach for. And of course, my Posca. I can't do any page without having some Posca, some white Posca pen on there somewhere. So yeah, that is the ones that I reach for the most. The next question is, what book did you work in the most? And I talked about that earlier. It's Botanicum. I did 16 pages in this book. What page was the most challenging? And I'm going to say, I think the snake page that I showed you earlier. Yeah, so this one I think would probably count because I wasn't sure how to do the light sources. So those rings were drawn around each of those little light sources, and it took me forever to figure out how I wanted to do it. And if something went into that light source, did I want to color it the color of the glow, or do I want to, like mute the color? And I ended up coloring it the color of the glow. So you can see here where the snowflakes are behind it, they are just the same color as the glow, and the snake here is the same thing in here. So yeah, it was a lot of thinking and a lot of trying to figure out how to do things in the background, and then all of these gems. I had to look at references for everything. And the snake was really fun to do. But yeah, this was probably my most challenging page. So yeah, that one. So the next question is, was there a book or page that you really enjoyed or that surprised you with how much you enjoyed it? And I think Mystic Animals was that for me. Like, I bought this not really expecting to love it as much as I did. And the page that I did in here, and I bought it used, so there's some damage to the papers, but it's not bad enough that it's going to be an issue. But I did this page and I was like, man, that was really fun. And I was able to use my Albrecht Dürer pencils on here. And then I used some water-based markers to do a lot of the, add in the color on all of the stuff down here. And then a little bit, just a tiny little bit of colored pencil, not much at all. And really just had a lot of fun with this. And I haven't come back to color it yet, but I've had this marked multiple times to color in. And but I really was very surprised with the way that this turned out, and definitely want to work in it again. So I'd had the rabbit one marked, and I had the owl one marked. Maybe this could be a focus book. This would be a fun one to do. I really like this book a lot. This is an artist that this is another one I had marked. I don't think this artist gets enough love, and I think she's super talented. So this is Stratton Peterson. And yeah, so Mystic Animals would be my answer for that one. Okay, I'm giving you something else to look at because I think a couple of these are some more that are just talky questions. The next question is, how many videos did you make this year? So I made 112 YouTube videos, which equals about, I think that equals out to about 9 a month, if I'm doing my math right. I don't have access to a calculator right now. It shouldn't be that hard, but I think it's 9 a month, which is pretty good. It's not terrible. I wanted to make sure, that I got at least 8 a month. So having about 9 a month, works out great. Sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on the month that I was having. But, there it is. And then I also did 25 shorts this year. So I did, 24 shorts just in December. So I did each day I colored in a little advent picture. So I did 24 of those. And then I did a couple of videos on book flips, I think, my completed pages books. I did a couple little videos for that too. So, overall, I think I did a pretty good job. I do want to work some more with the short format videos, but we'll talk about that in my coloring plans video later on. Next question is favorite videos that you made this year. So some of my favorites, I think, are my color alongs in Lulu's house. So the 3 pages that I did in this book, I really loved those videos. I also I did a couple of background videos that I really liked. So there's one with some watercolors, one with some chalk pastel, and then, I've still got some plans for that series. I do want to continue that because I really did enjoy doing those. So yeah, so the background video series is another favorite. Next question. Did your coloring routine or habits change? I don't really have a routine other than trying to get in here on Friday mornings and film my weekend whip videos. That's really the only thing that I do routinely. And then when that doesn't work, I have to kind of finagle my week, figure out when I can get in here and record. But yeah, I don't know. No, I don't think so. My habits and stuff didn't change a whole lot. I when I'm recording, I work down here. When I have to get out like messy stuff like oil pastels or chalk pastels, that's done down here at my desk, but everything else is done upstairs. I do alcohol marker work and Prismacolors and Albrecht, all that stuff. I do that upstairs. So any coloring I do for myself is definitely up there. So yeah. Next question is any new techniques that you tried this year? Okay, let me show you a couple of those. So I did get a little bit into the Cute and Cozy books. I don't have a ton of these, and I'm not planning to get a ton. I like these on occasion. They're fun on occasion, but they're not my preferred page style. So my first foray, I guess, into these books was Secret Forest, and this is by Anna Amelia Studios. And I was like just looking at things and trying things. So this was the very first page I did, and I don't love it, but it's fine. Like there's a lot of little dotty things, and that was really what I was trying to figure out is what I was supposed to do with all the dots. So then I started looking at other illustrators, and actually this image is posted on it's either on Pinterest or on the author's Instagram. But I used that as a reference to figure out where to put like these big dots and things like that. And I do like the way this one turned out. And it's fun. Yeah, so I did that one, and then I did one in here right after that. And this one was all just me trying to use my dot knowledge to do the shrubs and to do like little spots on the flowers, draw a little pattern on the outfits, do little cracks in the building and the wood grain on the doors. But this is kind of more of a combo page for me. So it's got a combination of mostly alcohol markers, a few paint pens, and then some colored pencils. I did bring my colored pencils in because that's just the way that I work best. But I did really enjoy this one. And I've done a couple Christmas ones, which you'll see in my completed pages video coming up soon. But yeah, so that kind of got into some of those alcohol marker techniques. And you can see tons of those on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, wherever you are watching those kind of videos. There's so many of them out there. So yeah, if you are interested in trying different things with alcohol markers, check that out. I found a lot of quick tutorials on Pinterest as well. So yeah, so alcohol markers would be the new things that I tried this year. Although I've been using them, but I'm trying them in a different way, I guess. Okay, let's look at this while I do some more talking, because this is a lot of talking. I'm going to take a sip of water too here. Last few questions. Who inspired my coloring this year? I was super inspired by Pinterest. Like most of my ideas came from Pinterest, and in turn came from children's literature artists and illustrators. That's my biggest inspiration. It was last year. It is this year. I just love the color palettes they use, the cute styles of drawing that they use. Yeah, it's just been my favorite source of inspiration. And so, when I search Pinterest, I always add the word illustration to the end of whatever I'm searching for to kind of get the feel that I'm going for. And so a lot of you out there are like, how do you find these cute images? Where are you finding all this stuff? And I'm just like, just add illustration to the back of it, and you can usually find something really cute. So definitely Pinterest has been my biggest inspiration this year. and then in turn, all of those wonderful children's artists. So, and actually most of the artists that I follow on Instagram are all the same thing. So if you want to ever go through like who I'm following on Instagram, you can see all of those different artists listed there. I might try to do like an appreciation for some of them here soon, because they're amazing. Another question is, were there any special or memorable coloring moments this year? And I would say, I think I had a couple of really special buddy colors. One was with my best friend, who has been my friend since my son was 4 and he's now 22. And we do all kinds of other crafty stuff, but we didn't really color a whole lot together. And we did our first buddy color this year. So the buddy color with her was really great. And then I also did a buddy color with my mom. And again, that was another one that was just super special. And we did that in February, and we both did these really pretty hearts from Small Victories. And yeah, those were both just really fun to do. And I love seeing both of them and coloring with them, and having somebody that's there with you while you're coloring is just a bonus. It's really fun. So yeah, so there's that. What's the next one? Oh, I did want to do, so I'm going to throw in my own question this year, because, I'm on here talking to you guys all the time about, books that I've read or shows that I've watched or things like that. So I'm going to give you a list of some of the ones that I loved the best this year. So it's not a ton, but I did want to give you a little bit of a list. So shows that I love this year. So this includes TV shows, movies, streaming things that I watched. So Mighty Nine, which is a new animated series on Netflix that is amazing, which you have to watch because it comes from Critical Role, which is another one of my favorites. I also really enjoyed anything that Dimension 20 puts out. There is a new show called Stumble from NBC that is hilarious. It's about cheer. It's so funny. I liked the show Poker Face with Natasha Lyonne, I think is who the star is. She was amazing. There's a new show with Ted Danson called The Man on the Inside. That's fantastically funny. I watched Glass Onion and the third one in that series, Wake Up Dead Man. I watched those recently and so good. They're such good movies. That whole series is just phenomenal. So good. And then the last show that I want to share is Superman. I went to the theater. That was the only movie I think I saw this year in the theater. And it was amazing. It was like the perfect superhero movie, I think. I love, the Avengers and things like that. I was a Marvel girl for a long time. Anytime DC would come out with something, I'm like, I guess I could see it, but I didn't really want to. And this Superman one, when I found out James Gunn was attached to it, I was like, okay, let's see what he's got in the works, because I really loved what he did with Guardians of the Galaxy. And so when we saw this in the theater, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so good. From the color, the way that the colors are in the movie, to the music, to just the feel of it. It's just so good. So good. So if you've not seen it and you're not typically a fan of superhero movies, this one's it's just good. It's a good movie. Okay, so then books that I loved this year. So these are all ones that I actually gave 5 stars to. Some of them for sentimental reasons, but others because it's just really good writing. So I will try to post these on the screen too, so that you're not just trying to listen to me say these words. So the first one is an author named A.K. Cagiano. The first book I read from them was Thrown in the Dark, and then I've read every single thing that they've written since then, and it's all great. She's just enough. They're just, I don't know who, anything by them has been amazing. It's funny, it's heartwarming, it's sweet. There's a little bit of spice. It's like everything that I want in a book just shoved together, and it's all fantasy kind of related things too. So it's really good. Love their work. Another one named, another author. I guess authors are artists too, aren't they? They're just artists of words. The other author is Marie Mystery. And I started a series that they wrote. The first book in that one is Traitor Witch. That was really good. There's one that it's just a silly book, but it's a super sweet series. So it's It's a sports romance series, but the most recent one that came out this year was called The Jackass in Class, and it's by an Amy Award. And again, it's funny writing, sweet, romantic, all of that stuff. And all of the FMCs are plus size. So that's a bonus for me. The next one is another one that's kind of funny, but it's called That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon. This is by Kimberly Lemming. And I loved the first book. The subsequent books were not my favorite, but they were still pretty good. But that first one is really, really good. Then I also read Tress and the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson, which is freaking amazing. It's like top-notch storytelling. It's so, so good. And the world is so cool. And I just love it. It's so good. If you have a chance to read it or listen to it, it's also a really good audio book too. So yeah, read or listen, Tress and the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. A couple more. So Bewitching Rago, which is by Victoria Aveline. This is the newest in a series of alien romance books that are heartwarming and, yes, spicy, but it's just like she's just a really good writer, and I like it a lot. And then I've got The Inheritance by Ilona Andrews. Again, anything written by Ilona Andrews is an instant read for me because it's a husband and wife writing team, and they are phenomenal. And this new book, The Inheritance, it was so good, and I cannot wait for more in this series because it's an amazing story. Accomplice to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer. This is the newest in the series. I started with Assistant to the Villain, and it's a sweet, slow burn romance. Yeah, it's just a really good book. Really funny, too. Then there is a book called Shardless by Stephanie Fisher. That is a series as well, and it's just wonderful fantasy book. There's a little bit of romance in it, but mostly fantasy. And then the last two are both by T. Harlow, and Mirror of Malice, which is like a fairy tale retelling. So the Mirror one is like a Snow White kind of, but there's, Rapunzel, and I don't even know. There's all kinds of them are in this one, and she's got them overlapping and mixed together, so it's not just like a straight retelling of the story. There's like all kinds of different bits thrown in, and it's really good. And then the other one is Potion and Prejudice, so it's like a twist on Pride and Prejudice. So there we go. Just wanted to share all my all my nerdy stuff with you guys. Okay, next question. How did the coloring community inspire or affect you? And this community is just amazing. Like every day I get on Instagram or YouTube, and I'm just stunned by the beauty that I see and the creativity, and I just love it. It just makes me so happy. And then on top of that, everybody's so nice and kind and sweet. And it's just like, somebody said the other day, like, how lucky are we that this is our community? Like, how did we find just the best community on the face of the planet? So I did want to shout out a couple of things that I really enjoyed this year. There were two new channels that, Jennifer started her channel in December of last year, but throughout this year, Jennifer from Tulgey Wood Colors. I've been watching her channel. I've been watching her grow in her coloring and, figuring out what she likes and what she doesn't like. And it's just been amazing to watch. It's like I've been able to see from like start, and see how she's progressed. And that's been really cool. And to top it all off, she's really sweet. She's really sweet. She's really talented. And it's so fun to see, to watch that progress. Another one that I love is Maria Colors. So she has, I think, a bigger following on Instagram and TikTok, but she recently started doing some completed pages videos on YouTube. She's so talented. Blows me away with her color palette choices and how she achieves some of the looks that she does. She's just amazing. So those are two new channels that I've been kind of watching a little bit. And then, of course, there's just so many out there. I love watching Colored by Maya, because she always has so many interesting books that are just different than what I have. And her coloring style is so different. And it's just inspiring. I sent her a message recently because I saw an artist on Instagram that just reminded me of something that she would do or she could do. And I was like, you need to follow this artist. She's, she's got all of these things that I just feel like it just reminded me of your artwork too. So yeah, I love Maya's channel. Of course, Coloring with Kay. She's got so many wonderful sparkly bits on her pages. And I just love all of the different things she puts on a page. It's just fun it's just inspiring to try to experiment, And then there's so many. There's just so many. Yeah, I love watching Kira's channel. So that's a pictured purpose, and the way that she's doing her videos, like she's a full YouTuber. Like mine is just hobby. Hers is like full-time YouTuber. That's what she is. And she's just knocking it out of the park. I love watching her videos. She's coming up with great ideas, and she's just doing a wonderful job. And I hope she continues because, yeah, it's amazing. There's so many guys that I just can't think of everybody, but those are the few that I can think of off the top of my head. And of course, there are a few channels out there that I watch religiously, comment on religiously, and it just feels like I'm sitting with a friend. So yeah, thank you for those of you out there that do that for me. I really appreciate that, because we all need a friend sometimes to just sit and color with, right? Okay, so that is that question. Just a couple more. I'm so sorry. I know this is so long. Next question. What are your coloring plans or goals? So I'm not going to go into detail on this because I am going to do a huge video about that in a little bit. So, of course, I've already talked about, I'm going to make an untouched books list and go through and figure all that out. And then, of course, have a goal set to reduce that number down by so many percentages or books. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but yeah, that. I do want to have a couple focus books. So I'm going to continue to play with Lulu's House of Wonder. And then the other one that I was just talking about is Mystic Animals. That's a possibility. I still haven't decided that for sure yet, but that's a good possible choice. Because they're very different styles, so I know that I wouldn't like get sick of coloring the same things over and over. So those might be cool. Another thing that of course, I'm going to be still do my books to focus on list. So it's like a books to finish eventually is kind of what that list is. And of course, I'm going to have Botanicum, A Million Magical Creatures, Daydreams, anything that I'm close to finishing. Those ones are still going to be on that list, but it's not I must color in these every month. It's if I color in these, great. That's another page towards my goal. So yeah, I don't foresee finishing any of those next year, but again, I will be doing a video and we'll kind of go into depth about that on another video. And then I'm also going to be doing a focus artist series of color alongs throughout the year. My plan is to have a different artist every 2 months. That's the plan. I think I'm going to start with Aerie because I have so many of her books that don't have anything colored in them. And so I'm going to try to color in as many as I can in those 2 months. And then that way, because I felt like the mythographic was great and I was able to get a lot accomplished, but I did kind of get burnt out of making sure that I had to color in these books every single month. So I feel like if I change up the artists, the authors, the illustrators, whatever they are, they're all of those things, that'll keep it fresh and exciting and won't make me not want to color in them because my brain is being a jerk. So yeah, for sure, Aerie. So other artists that I'm thinking about, Lulu Mayo, Camilla D'Erico, Kirby, Rita Berman, Maria Trolle, and then I've also got Tatiana Bogema-Stolova and Camelia Angelkova kind of in the mix there too. So I'm not sure exactly which ones I want to do, but for sure Aerie's going to be first, and I'm going to do that for January and February. So, and I do have a hashtag that I'm going to be using. It's going to be Elm Colors Aerie, and that'll be good for January and February, but I'll do a little post about that too so you guys can see that. So yeah, that is, oh no, last question. There's so many questions on here and I love it, but it's the longest video I've ever made. Anyway, Last question. What books are you looking forward to in the new year? Books or products. And I don't really follow like when new products are coming out. And I don't typically follow when new books are coming out either. I'm usually like, oh, like surprised by the new book. But I do know that Hannah Carlson is coming out with a new one about castles, which is fantastic, like castle ruins or something. So that will be a definite buy. And then Joseph Kattenbang has the Alice in Wonderland coming out, which I'm not... I felt really bad because the Alice in Wonderland color along that was in November, they did a great job and had so many fun freebies and so many different hashtags and all these things. And I'm just like, for some reason, when it comes to Alice in Wonderland stuff, I don't color it. I have several, I have one whole book about Alice in Wonderland, and then I have, you know, lots of other pages, but those are not the ones I reach for some reason. But because it's Joseph Kattenbang, maybe I will be more likely to do that. We shall see. I'm hoping that's the case because I love all of his books and all of his art. So yeah, hopefully that'll work for that. And then Fabiana is also coming out. Fabiana Attanasio is also coming out with a new one about fairies next year as well. So yeah, those ones are the ones that I know about. I'm sure there are gobs others that I'm going to see and be like, oh, I need that. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So that is it. Thank you so much for being here. Like I said, I know this is a really long video, and if you've stayed to the end, you're just a trooper. I appreciate you more than you know. And yeah, I do. I love this channel. I love the community. So thankful that I decided to start this channel and just meet all of you and hang out with you guys. And yeah, so thank you again for being here, and have a wonderful 2026. And I will see you next year. Bye.